What is up, my dashing dudes and darling dames? I am the Hans TV, and welcome back to the only subreddit that makes you wish that some people didn't have access to computers. It's r/TalesFromTechSupport. First post for today comes from Overall Pretty Average. The story of software that was too easy to install. Been doing IT help desk for a little over a year now, and I've had my fair share of mind-numbing tickets, but this one probably takes the cake for the dumbest thing I've seen. We've got a new user at one of the offices we support, so we're going through the motions of getting all their programs installed. Everything goes smoothly enough until we get a call a few days later, asking us to install a particular suite of software on our computer. Now, this software is something that we've pretty much never had to interact with, barring the occasional password reset. And even weirder, we have absolutely zero documentation of this stuff at all, barring a non-functional admin login. So my buddy takes this call and is absolutely baffled. Apparently everyone in the office now has this software suite installed locally on their computer. So he messages me and asks what I did to install it. Of course, I don't know either. We assumed there was some breakdown in the communication with this new person, and just show her how to open a remote session on the server, which is where all the software is already installed. Side note, yes, I said we showed her how to do this, because she called back minutes after being shown how to do this because she had forgotten. And I got the call the second time around. 5 minutes later, she's calling again, insisting that this software suite needs to be installed on her computer. Being the jackbutts we are, we just say, you know what? You want this software so bad? Fine. And start Googling for install links, knowing they won't work. We rip one off the website and remote onto her computer to install it. But notice this person happened to have their email open. Normally we just ignore it, but in this case, she had a message pulled up that had the logo for the software we were about to install. So naturally, we gave it a quick look. Turns out, the reason we had nothing documented for their software suite was because the install was as simple as clicking a link in an email that said, click here to install this software. We were just never told about this whole process because it was so self-explanatory that the folks at this office didn't think we'd ever need to help install this program for anyone, considering all you need to do is click a link and couple of next buttons. Our new user literally lacks the ability to comprehend a single sentence long email. After we installed the software, she changed her password to log into it and promptly forgot it 3 minutes later. Have mercy on my soul. Having a click here link to install the software is literally the most idiot-proof thing you can do. But then you get people like this, who were so much an idiot that idiot-proofing doesn't work. This next post comes from Frozen Chibi. You migrated them wrong. Some backstory. I work and get paid from a company that has created and acquired several other small companies, and now I am the go-to IT guy for these new companies. I started with the main company in their second year as an intern and have been with the company for nearly 3 years now, and have probably gained some trust from my CEO during these years. Our most recent acquisition required me to migrate all of the newly acquired company's local server data to join our sizable, possibly oversized in my opinion, Dropbox corporate account. This was done about 9 months ago, and things went without a hitch. That is, until today. Hey Frozen, all or most of the migrated Dropbox file that you transferred are not accessible. Please check on that and let us know the status ASAP. I'm visibly flustered from my work desk. Okay, I'll take a look and see what the issue might be. I check permission settings and see that all of those who need access already have access granted. Is there a specific folder in question? From first glance, I can see the files just fine and can confirm that we all have the same permission settings. As a reminder, the files that were migrated are within a folder titled Migration Files. Everything works now. Thanks, Frozen. Mondays, am I right? Maybe it's time to touch base on a pay raise. Man, it works perfectly for 9 months. And then somehow, magically, they lose their permissions. No, they didn't. They were just in the wrong file. This next post comes from dcarfang. My computer doesn't work. I hurt. I used to work for a small, medium-sized doctor's office with multiple offices across the city and surrounding area. I was one of a handful of techs, and we took care of everything from password resets to server setups. We would typically go on site, and one such day, I was out at one of the offices due to a wireless issue. I got the wireless up quickly since the cleaning crew unplugged it. This happened often, and they wouldn't plug it in for us. Luckily, they were close to the admin office, so not that big of a deal. After fixing that, I walked around to make sure that all was well in the office before leaving. I started talking to a nurse who was having some PC issues, but wouldn't give me anything more than nothing works. Scheduling a nurse is SN, me is me. My computer is not working. Okay, well, what's not working? Will nothing launch, or is the software just not connecting? Nothing is working. My computer is just not working. She would regularly give us no info, and I was trying to get her to give us more. Since we were in a doctor's office, I tried being a crappy patient to her. Okay, just so you know, that really doesn't help us troubleshoot. That is the same as a patient coming in and saying, I hurt. How would you respond to that? Well, what hurts? I hurt. Well, what hurts? Your arm, your leg, or your head? I hurt. Her eyes went wide and had a moment of realization. Oh, I guess that is the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, the software window just won't open when I click on it. Okay, thank you, I can work with that information. I proceeded to fix her issue, and from that point forward when she called in, I always got proper answers, and if her coworker in the office was calling us and giving us trouble, she would take over the call and give us what we needed. Sometimes you just need to put it into their terms to get proper information. I like that you didn't just get automatically irritated and just yell, because you actually put it in a way that she can understand. Just, okay, I hurt. Well, what hurts? I hurt. The same thing was applied in your computer aspects. Well, what's wrong? It's broken. What's wrong? It's broken. Front of us for today comes from Grand Master. Yes, there's an error in the password. No, we won't fix it. This one is an old one from a long time ago when cell phones were used for calling and messages only, and Snake 2 was the best game available on then. So say 2006. Yeah, I know there were better phones available by then, but not in India, not cheaply at least. The year before, our government-owned telecom service provider had just started broadband services that it was providing over the same physical cables as our landlines. You needed a frequency splitter at the home end, from where one line went to your phone and the other one went to your ADSL modem to provide internet. One of the two options our TSP provided, rental ADSL modem or self-owned. I went for the second. However, a clerical error at the exchange level made them think it was a rental, and instead of the 2 weeks promised to me, they thought they could put me at the end of a 4-month waiting list. This was corrected after I went to the exchange myself and raised a ruckus, reaching up to the GM of the zone. Aside, that ruckus I raised over a decade and a half ago has been very useful since. I've never faced an outage when the rest of my housing complex has regular outages. If I face an outage, rest assured that the internet is down for the whole city. 2 hours after I met the GM, 3 engineers, including the senior most at the telephone exchange, came home to check what the issue was. He had to reach out to his training officer at the head end, who had to log into the switch to read a few numbers, which when entered into my modem settings, started the internet connection I've used ever since. But you ask, where's the tech support? A few weeks later, I was called on by one of my clients in college. I'd assembled a few PCs for a friend, who had taken a similar connection but was facing the same issue. Not my problem technically. The PC was working fine and dial-up worked perfectly. He too had reached out to the exchange. His mother worked in the government and arranged for engineers senior to those who visited me to check it out, but they had given up. Everything worked fine, even other ADSL accounts, but not this one. This piqued my interest. The whole issue was a mirror to mine. Could the resolution be the same? Let's check it out. I asked him to get his phone bill and read out 2 numbers to me. Phone number 02296555123. That's also the username to be used. Account number 67890555123. They told me to enter this as the password. And it's not working? No, invalid password it seems. Okay, you'll owe me a beer if this works. Try 67895555123 as password and let me know what happens. I'll give the readers a minute to guess what happened and why. Some more clues. The account number matching the phone number partially was a coincidence. Normally, they were vastly different. The same thing happened to me. My last 4 digits were the same instead of my friend's 5. Got it? So here's what happened. The TSP's engineers were new at this broadband game. They were also unionized and working for a government-owned TSP. Thus, bent on reducing their workload anyhow, to reduce their own long-term workload, they had gone ahead and activated broadband at the head-end/switch for every single connection in the whole city, to be connected at the exchange level when needed. That's millions of people who don't know they have broadband connections already ready to run, and are surviving on 128K dial-up connections. It was one database query that ran for a long time before services were started, but that's fine since it's not even public yet. And somehow a bug crept in affecting a few hundred connections only. What was that bug? The actual interconnection would be via the phone line connected to that number, so the billing wouldn't be affected. But the ADSL security setup asked for a username/password combo, thus the phone number as a username and account number as a password. The query was to copy the phone number to the username and the account number to the password fields, but every time the last 3 to 4 digits of the account number matched the phone number, What the query did was to transpose the last different digit from the phone number to the password, the starting digits being copied from the account number. Thus, password error of exactly one digit in the middle somewhere. The phone call one of the engineers who visited me at the start made was to the guy who actually ran the original query. He was able to get into the database and run a reverse query from my specific case, and write out the password for us to enter in my modem. He also told us about the bug. Hence, for my friend, I made an educated guess and told him the expected password. The next weekend, this circle of friends, which included my client, met up for dinner. I didn't have to pay for a single drink all night. P.S. For those crying security issues at all, the whole setup I've listed is only for billing purposes. It's the phone line that's billed. I could use any working username/password combo and it would still bill my landline only. Well, alright my dashing dudes and darling dames, that is going to do it for today's episode of r/TalesFromTechSupport. I hope you liked the stories, and if you did, I'll link them in the description as always. And if you liked the video, subscribe, share, drop a like, and a comment down below with what you'd like to see me read next. A humongous thank you to everyone who continues to subscribe and keeps on growing the channel and the community. I cannot thank y'all enough for what y'all are doing for this community, and I cannot wait to see where this next year takes us. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.